EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Tiburon Championship. This is Rich Lerner alongside my colleague Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, calling all the action for today's event. We are here at Wolf Creek Golf Club. It's located in Mesquite, Nevada. Frank, if I didn't know that it was Mesquite, Nevada, I think we landed on the moon and they built the golf course here. This is just mind-boggling.
Yeah, 100 years ago, you couldn't build a golf course like this here. Obviously, all the equipment needed, but in the end, it's wonderful. It's an absolute playground for anyone that sort of loves to play the game. It is desert golf, obviously because of the terrain, but the green oasis that cuts in between is each hole. It just sort of gives you a totally different experience because you keep having to remind yourself you are smack bang in the middle of the desert. That's beyond long.
That is a sensational play right there, and you have to think that the little helping breeze gave that a nice boost.
He can't be that good.
Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot.
Surely not.
That was just a gutsy shot right there, and a good look at eagle coming up.
Really? This is an awkward length.
Well, he's not going to be real happy with that. Wow. Locked in on the read and the speed. Just a little too much juice on that birdie putt, Frank.
It was bold, very bold.
So they'll tap in. Even par early on. Here at the par 4, 445-yard second hole. Severe dogleg to the left. What's the best play here, Frank?
Well, that tee shot, Rich, is so intimidating, so you don't necessarily have to hit driver. Club decision is probably going to be important here because if you hit driver, you've got to take it down over that left side all over the canyon area. So if you hit 3-wood, you can play a slightly more conservative tee shot, but it is going to leave you a longer second shot to a green that's well protected on the right side by bunkers. But really, you know, if the wind's not blowing, this is a really good, fun hole to play. Look at the vistas.
Frank, what do you think about this approach here at the second hole?
Once again, we're going to go a little bit back up the hill. Really, there's only that one bunker on the right. That shouldn't be in play. Green goes uphill and a little bit to the left, so you really got to try and make sure you work on the right distance there. Get that ball on the right tier where the flag is located.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Needs a few more of those. That was a good birdie.
Yeah, this time that one gets him in the top 10.
All right, Frank, describe the third hole.
Well, it's a par 3 with a bit of a tabletop green, Rich. Some bunkers right and left of that, but also it's going to play a little bit further. This tee shot is uphill, unlike the opening 2 holes. So a 3 here, and that certainly won't hurt the scorecard. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
And from the rough, he manages to not only make the green, but get within easy striking distance of the hole. Getting set now over the putt. Well, that was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
No, sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
So just getting started, even par so far. Action is underway, and we'll take you out to hole number 4. As we catch up with today's featured golfer, Frank, what's the key to generating some momentum?
Just hitting good shots. I know it sort of sounds like the old cliche, but plenty of opportunities. A few 10, 15-foot putts start going down. This round will change dramatically.
That's in the fairway. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
This won't hurt him, Frank.
Just a little left of the flag. That's fine.
Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie.
It's no snack, though. A few more birdies like that. Rich, you never know, just might sneak placed on the podium.
In the top 10 right now. How about this hole, Frank? Par 5, 5th.
If you stand on this tee for the first time, you've got virtually no idea where you've got to aim. Do you aim it left of those bunkers? Do you aim it over the sort of the canyon? Really, the answer is how far do you hit it, because that is going to determine the line that you hit it on. Avoid the water, that little stream, but you can always have a drink on the way if you want to, I guess. Second shot plays uphill, but this is a relatively short par 5, so very reachable. But you can see you've got to flight that second shot. You want to make sure that ball's coming in nice and high to this green that's perched up.
Frank, what's it going to take here on this approach at the par 5?
Well, some people might actually try and bounce it in between those two bunkers and run the ball up on the green. But personally, I try and actually take a hybrid or something with a little bit more loft and try and fly the ball. Take those two bunkers out of play.
Couldn't have done much better than that. An eagle is very possible. A makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Frank going for another birdie here.
Chance to get on a real roll.
Player knows they're on the move with that birdie. Quick glance at the leaderboard. They can see, Frank, they're not out of it.
Things are very volatile right now. Tom Weiskopf was one of my idols growing up. I loved the way he swung. That swing right there reminds me of my idol.
It looks like EARoryMcIlroy, Frank, sticking the follow through. Frank, what does the player need to consider on this approach shot here at the 6th?
There's only really one bunker that's a problem. That's the one on the left side. It shouldn't really come into play if you're playing nicely. It's a little narrow in the front, and this green starts to widen up. Once again, distance control and adjusting for the altitude.
Just a pure strike. A perfect result. He'll have a good look at birdie now. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the course. And that par certainly won't hurt the course.
There's still some time. Now on to the par 4 7th hole. Is this a reachable par 4, Frank?
Distance-wise, you would think so, but the designer has done something to avoid that, and that's put all this water in front of the green. It would take a mammoth tee shot, and that's something like 300 yards through the air if you're going to try and even drive this green. Is the risk worth it? Well, if you're just playing with your friends, maybe it is. Otherwise, you just lay it up just past those those bunkers on the right and the left. Get it down there on the flat. A little pitch you would think is simple, but because of the slope of this fairway, chances are you might not get a flat lie, and that's going to make that second shot that much harder.
Frankie's cranking it and banking it. Giant drives, a boatload of birdies. What a round.
Yeah, these are the days you just dream for. We know golf's not that easy, but on a day like today, savor it and just keep going. Keep doing it.
And to generate some momentum here at the 7th hole. This for birdie. Just a couple of feet. Once considered the best player at the college level, our featured golfer makes birdie, sitting comfortably inside the cut line. Frank, the par 3/8 really is Wolf Creek in a nutshell. It's hard, and it's really pretty.
It is, and it's really long, too. Just under 250 yards off that back tee. Slight bit of elevation, but you can see from the tee, obviously, where you don't want to go and where you do go. If you're a little, well, tender of heart, then aim for the right side and avoid all that water down the left.
Good-looking shot right here. Birdie try up next. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Settles in over the putt. Knocks that putt in for par to stay at 3 under. Set to round out the front side here at Wolf Creek with a par 4.
Fun hole for the big hitter, too. They can really take advantage of this. The last fairway bunker down there on the right side is just over 300 yards to get over it. And longer hitters could nearly drive it in the green side bunker on the right. So just tee it up there. You're playing desert golf for a reason. Enjoy it. Just have a little flick in here. And chance, too, to have a little birdie at the end of your front 9.
Frank, as we look at the approach here at the 9th, what do you think the best play is?
Well, unless you've laid up off the tee, Rich, you're only going to have a short shot into this green. You don't have to loft it too high. You can use the full length of the green. So something coming in a little bit lower and bouncing towards the flag is probably the best play.
Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
It's a big putt right here for birdie. Frank, you've navigated so many leaderboards in your career. This is the way to do it, isn't it?
Oh, there's plenty of holes ahead too, Rich. Third place, a really good position to be playing from here on in.
Now, the start of the back nine here at Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada, or as I like to call it, Mind Blower Golf Club. Frank, everywhere you look, it's just a mind blower. I mean, this one is hard to believe.
Well, this one is also a hard hole, 472 yards off the back tee. The fairway is a little wider than what it looks off the tee because, you know, that sort of desert ridge on the right side there, that blocks part of the fairway. So if you can imagine that fairway opens up a bit, then you'll be fine. A good tee shot down here, especially with that elevation there. That should shorten the hole up a little bit. 270 yards gets you past all those bunkers on the left side. They'll take those out of play. And once again, a little bit uphill, and you see the green, it shapes a little bit to the right. So make sure you're aware of where that flag is.
He makes a great pass at the golf ball. It's powerful, but it's rhythmic at the same time. Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. I like the looks of this one. Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Locked in on the read and the speed. Frank, this is a good position to be in for a player. Making birdies, making some moves.
Yeah, starting to get the momentum, too, for the finish.
Frank, another really rugged hole. This is the par 3 11th here at Wolf Creek.
Rich, remember that book, Dead Solid Perfect? This is what this hole's all about, because you must hit that tee shot solid. You've got to carry all the trouble in front of you. And remind yourself, too, there's enough green grass down there. Not necessarily green, but green grass around there. A good shot safely on the putting surface here. And this green's not too severe. But this is a fun par 3 just to look at, or even at least experience.
So a tester from 4 feet. Racking them and stacking them right now. 6 under par for the tournament. Par 5, 12th, and Frank, another reminder that Wolf Creek can really be intimidating.
It can. Water down the left. They'll take a huge dent off your scorecard. A lot of fairway down the right. Somehow find that. This par 5 can be reachable in 2. There's still trouble to the right of this green if you get a little bit cavalier. This, without doubt, the longest green on the golf course. It's 55 yards from front to back.
Up with the big boys now, Frank.
Well, we saw that previous tee shot go 310. This one's further.
And from the fairway for his second shot here. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. That was just a gutsy shot right there, and a good look at eagle coming up. Now the third shot at the par 5.
A little bit more hope than determination in that putt.
That was a nice birdie, and no doubt he's feeling pretty good about his position on this leaderboard.
A series of good holes in a row has got him to this point.
Now to the 13th hole, and I don't know, should we just fly it over the mountains, Frank?
It looks like that, but then you better find dry land. 350 yards, but as the crow flies, it's probably just a little over 300 yards. I don't know if the mere mortals would really want to flash it across that desert ridge. You probably want to play a little left of it, have a little pitch up the hill, but if you're one of the longer hitters, why not just try it, see if you can make it.
That is just an outstanding shot right there. And now a chance for an eagle. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Frank, you hate to miss it from that distance.
More than a setback there.
And he's putting for birdie now. Just continuing to play some really good golf. 8 under par for the championship. Frank, describe the layout here at the 14th hole. It's 444 yards. What a beautiful hole.
It is, and it's a beautiful view. You see everything from the top of that tee there. It's a hole that keeps bending to the left. There's enough bunkers down the left there to actually take your eye. That's why you got to fixate on something in the distance that's a much better line than worrying about that wall of sand down the left side.
Well, the tee shot has landed in the bunker. From 135 yards out. Frank, not only is this a beautiful golf course to look at, but it's fun to play because you can hit it ridiculously long.
Off an elevated tee, altitude, warm air, at times the ball will just feel like it's going to go forever. But sometimes in golf too, it's still about controlling distance. So it's fine to hit a driver a long way, but second shots can be very, very difficult because if you're hitting a short iron, it's hard to control that distance. And in the end, it's still about how close you hit it to the flag. Factor in that too, the putting on all these greens, which is very, very difficult. But that's why Wolf Creek, it's an experience to see, fun to play, but difficult to work out.
Well, it looks as though they're going to need to use all their strength to sort of hack it out of that rough, missing it off the tee here. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Here at the 15th hole here at Wolf Creek, bit of a breather here. Nice short par 3. You don't want to miss this green.
No, that's the temptation there. If you try and bite off a little too much because it looks a little too easy, then a bogey here and you're in a bad mood all of a sudden at Wolf Creek. This looks like it's going to find the target.
He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. These putts keep the round together. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
From about 8 feet. Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Now to the 16th hole, and Frank, another good scoring chance.
If you can avoid the confusion off the tee, it looks like the hole might be a dogleg, then is it a carry? It meanders from one way to the other, but really when you actually break the hole down, it's virtually straight ahead. Those two bunkers in the driving distance, they frame the hole nicely, so play it as a straightaway par 4. It should set up beautifully for just a little short iron and perhaps a birdie opportunity.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball, and this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. With these downhill shots, really the key is always balance, and maybe you want to take a little bit of a wider setup, and then club selection obviously is important. You maybe take a little less club and just try not to overswing. I mean, really on top of his game right now. That was a splendid approach shot.
Can't birdie them all, Rich.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. 8 under par for the round. Frank, this is really a cool closing stretch here at Wolf Creek. Short par 3 15th, the short 4 at the 16th, and now the par 5 17th. You can make up some ground in a hurry as you come down the finishing stretch.
You certainly can. A good drive short of the little stream creek that runs across there, and this is doable as a two-shotter. You find the bunkers or trouble off the tee, then obviously you're forced to lay up, leaving that third shot across the water. But really a fun hole if you want to try and take that second shot on.
That's in the fairway. Setting up in the fairway, 200 yards to where that hole is cut. Good looking shot right here. Well, it's obvious he is in complete command of his golf ball right now. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Oh, I thought he had that. Oh my goodness, he missed it. He missed the bunny. That's like missing a layup in basketball. This for birdie. Putting up some impressive numbers out here now. 9 under for the tournament. Now the closing hole here at Wolf Creek. Frank, what's ahead of us?
You could try and drive at this green, but there's too much trouble, really, Rich. Even though this hole's just over 300 yards, it's very ambitious to try and drive it across that water. Some might try. Most people try and hit a tee shot 240, 250 yard mark, and of course, you do the maths, you're only going to have 60 or 70 yards in, and well, they want you to finish on a good note. So a good drive in the fairway here, or 3-wood, pitch it on the green, make a 3, and buy your friends a drink in the clubhouse.
8-foot putt here. Well, in the words of the late, great baseball commentator for the Yankees, Phil Rizzuto, it's time for, holy cow, Whitey. That's 11 under par.